Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl. We have a little bit of a break here between games for the Utah Hockey Club, so why not do something fun and interesting? Unfortunately for new NHL fans, now that Utah is in the NHL, they finally have a team. You would probably be looking forward to an All-Star game this season, but the NHL has decided to not do an All-Star game, and instead they're doing a country sort of tournament. Four nations are going to be involved in the Four Nations tournament. It takes place February 12th to February 20th in 2025. The rosters are due in a couple weeks. The first week of December, the countries need to submit their rosters. Why is it four? Why is it four of these countries? Why isn't there other countries? Well, obviously for world political reasons, there's no Russia, and because of that, they're not. The other country that I think got snubbed and is on the short end of that decision is Czechia. I really think Czechia could field a competitive team, but obviously 5 teams seems a bit odd. It's an odd number, and they don't really have another country that could be that 6th team other than Russia, like Germany, Slovakia. They're not just there just yet to be competitive with these nations. For me, in my opinion, I think Russia needs to be in this tournament. I don't think you could have a country style hockey tournament. I'm only talking about hockey here. I'm not talking about anything else, any other political context. But if you're going to have a country tournament, one of the best countries is Russia. Some of the best hockey players are from Russia playing in the NHL. And if Russia was part of this tournament, Utah would have a guaranteed player in Sergachev playing on that team. Czechia, if Czechia was in here, you'd have Vemelka as well competing for one of the goaltending spots. So this is a Utah roster separated by their nationalities. I have a marker here, and I'm going to guarantee you 4 of these players are going to make their respective country rosters. So you could pause the video and try to guess which 4 are going to make their teams. It's a bit of a surprise. If you've never looked at these countries' roster, it definitely would be a surprise. So let's get into it here. We'll start with USA, and Clayton Keller is most likely going to be one of the players for Utah that makes the roster. Now, it's not guaranteed. I've been looking at all the projected lineups for Team USA, the predictions some of these analysts are making. It's about 65 to 70% of the predicted rosters have Keller there, and some of these analysts have left Keller off in favor of other players like Matt Boldy. I don't know how you choose Matt Boldy over Clayton Keller. Trocheck as well. Like, Keller is so much better than Boldy and Trocheck. I could see an argument for Chris Kreider. You know, he's a playoff performer. He's a veteran. He's like 35 years old. He never seems to slow down. But you got to have Keller on that roster. He's best friends with Austin Matthews as well. So I'm pretty sure Matthews is going to put in a word for his buddy Keller. And he's a newly announced captain. So he brings some captain qualities as well. Schmaltz, no. Cooley, not yet. And obviously not the bottom 3 in Ian Cole, Bukestad, or Kesselring. Not there yet for Team USA. We move on to Canada, where I think their best chance to have a Utah player for Team Canada is Connor Ingram, but I do not think he's going to make the roster due to his shaky performance to start the season. I think if he had the same start as he did last season there were talks of Ingram being the all-star representative for the Coyotes before Keller made his 3rd or 4th straight All-Star game appearance. Last year, in his first 15 games, Ingram was 11-4 on his win-loss record and had a .917 save percentage. This year, obviously, he's not performing at those numbers. And Canada's goaltending, the reason why I thought Ingram might have a chance, but not anymore due to the actual start to his year, their goaltending is really weak. That's the weak spot for Canada this year, compared to USA, who has goalies like Hellebuck, Ottinger, Jeremy Swayman. Those are like 3 unbelievable goalies. Whereas Canada, they're probably going to go with Jordan Binnington, Aiden Hill, and Stuart Skinner. Sure, Ingram is. I like Ingram better than all three of those goalies, but in a very short tournament type style tournament, obviously, you rather go with players who have been in that pressure cooker moment. Binnington's won a cup, Aiden Hill's won a cup, Stuart Skinner went to the finals last year and came back from a 3-1 deficit. So I understand those three goalies making it over Ingram, but it's unfortunate. If he had a better start this season, I could see him being in the mix and in the conversation more. Now it seems like a lot of people are leaving him off the Team Canada roster, which is fair due to his start to the season. Gunther, not just yet. I don't think he's going to make Team Canada. Team Canada is stacked on the forward core, so all these guys aren't going to make Team Canada. But Utah's got a lot of Canadians on this roster, if you didn't know. So here it is. These are the big old Canadian boys. Gunther, I believe, if they continue to do this country-style tournament, he should be on Team Canada sooner rather than later. Then we go to Finland, this is going to surprise people. What if I told you all three of these guys are going to make the team? Yes, I guarantee you they're all going to make the team, not because they're good, well, the bottom two. Michelli for sure is a lock because he's good. I think this could be the coming out party for Matias Michelli. I think he's one of the most underrated playmakers in the league. If you pair him with some of these high-flying Finland forwards, I think he's going to turn some heads, and everyone's going to be like, where did this Michelli guy come from? I think he could really put a stamp for his name across the NHL in this tournament. So he's a lock because he's actually good and will help Finland be competitive and maybe win some games. For Mata and Välimäki, the depth defenseman for Finland is like really abysmal. Like it's bad. Like Mata and Välimäki are competing with Mikkola, Jokiharju, and Hakanpää, who's yet to play a game this season due to injury. So I think by default, Mata and Välimäki will make it. I think Mata actually might deserve to be there. He's a defensive defenseman. We all like how he's playing for Utah. He really helped stop the bleeding in terms of team defense. The team is much better defensively now that they traded for Olli Mata. But for Välimäki, I think he shouldn't be on any country roster. He's been healthy scratched a couple times this season. He should be playing better. I'm not here to just dump on Välimäki. Like if he really took this season to be like, hey, if I have a really good start to this season, I could make the Team Finland roster. I feel like that should have gave him more motivation. But I do agree, since Mata has come, they're both from Finland, so they're friends or they know each other. Välimäki has said he's really happy to have Mata on the team. They've been working together well. Välimäki's upped his game since Mata has come, maybe some sort of friendly internal competition, but yeah, I think all three of these Finnish players will make the roster, and Välimäki makes it sort of by default, not in terms of his play and quality of play. Then we go to Sweden. Only one Swedish player on the Utah Hockey Club right now. It's Kevin Stenlund, a great fourth line defensive center who's great on the PK. Maybe Sweden, if they want a reliable defensive centerman who's won a Stanley Cup recently, so he's been in those high-intensity moments, maybe he could make the team, but I won't guarantee that he'll make Team Sweden. So that's a little fun video. Take a break from the NHL season. Utah's in action Wednesday night at home against Carolina, and hopefully they get a big win there, get back into the win column. It's great that Utah's competing for that wild card spot. I think for me right now, Utah needs to tread water, be close enough to that last couple playoff spots, and maybe in the new year, February, March, they get back Dursey and Marino, and they could really take off. If they're about 5 points away from the playoffs, they could really do some damage once they're fully healthy. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.